Morena.
Morena.
Beautiful to see you all arriving.
Morena Tamari.
Some faces from last time and some new faces.
Oh, Morena, Miss Leanne couple.
Morena Pania. Nice to see you here.
That's a beautiful smile, Pania.
You'll hate it.
Oh, she.
Pania,
Aotearoa. Okay, whānau, we're going to make a start. Ka pai? So we'll begin with karakia timatanga. So we'll begin our session with karakia. Inoi tātou. E ara e te rā tu mai rā. Whiti whiti te marama o rangi. Whiti whiti te marama o papa. Whiti whiti ora ki te nākau e tangata e. Ti hei mauri ora. E mihi ani ki a tātou kua whakakotahi mai ki te kaupapa o Ngahere. Tēnā koutou, tēnā rā tātou katoa. A ko Tuihana Ohia hau no Naiterangi Ngāti Pukenga no Tuarua o ku iwi. It's beautiful to be here today, whānau. And welcome. I was just, that karakia recognises Ranginui, our Sky Father, and Papatūānuku, our Earth Mother, and also calls us into this session as one today. So lovely to have you all here. Before I go any further, I'm now going to hand it over to the beautiful Louise Marra. Kia ora.
Kia ora koutou, ko ai au nā toi rawa ko pōta ki te whenua nā tūhoi te rangatiratanga ko Louise Marra tuku ingoa. Nō reira, tēnā koutou katoa. Beautiful to see you all, and we've got a short session today building on our biggest session. What was it, about 6 weeks ago? So I know Chloe wants to say a few words before we get right into it.
Oh, kia ora koutou katoa. Morena everyone, and thank you Tuihana for the beautiful karakia and opening this morning. So ko Chloe Howard Taukwanoa. My name is Chloe and I'm an associate with the Centre for Social Impact, and really pleased to be able to welcome you here this morning to Tuarua Talks. So this is a free program of workshops which is offered out to the community sector by the Centre for Social Impact through support from Foundation North. So this is just to let you know that we've presented a wide range of topics, and this includes things like grant writing, marketing, communication, strategy, collaboration, evaluation and wellbeing. And you can actually access all of the recordings of these sessions, and they all come with their slide deck and some resources, and they're up on the CSO website, and we will post a link in the chat for you to access these as well. We're really keen to make sure that we can make these sessions as accessible. So as they are often oversubscribed, we are recording these sessions, and as I said, they're going to be available on our website. We'll be emailing everyone today with a link to the recording of this session, and also we have an offering out of some resources to go alongside these sessions. Before we get into our session, I'd just like you ask you all to take part in a small poll. So this is a really short poll that will ask you if you've received funding from Foundation North in the last 2 years. So Foundation North is supporting this series, and they're just really interested to see how many of their grantees are accessing these workshops. So that will take a few seconds. I think, does that come up, Michelle? Maybe, no. We'll send that out, a link in for that, so we can follow up on that. What we will, oh, there it is. Ta-da. And also we're really keen to keep offering out on these sessions, and we're really interested in your feedback on this. So right at the end of the session, we have a short 5-question survey, and we'll have a little link in that. And that's really just to get a sense from people attending this, what ones work, what they want to see more of, and what would be really useful for you in your work. So today's workshop is Ngahere, Nurturing Our Connectivity, and facilitated by the wonderful CSI associates, Tuihana and Louise. As I mentioned, it is a follow-up session, but if you were unable to make the first session, that's absolutely fine, because Louise and Tuihana will take you through the key aspects of that before offering out 2 moments for this session. So I'm going to hand back to Louise, I think, or Tuihana around for the next part.
Louise.
Okay, so yeah, so I'll just recap a little bit, and Tuihana, feel free to chime in. So we kind of issued a challenge in the sector, which we call the 6 by 1, which is 6 times a day for 1 minute. Can you do something that brings you ease and joy? And if you remember, for those who are here, we went through the nervous system and looking at how much we need to rewire a system. We actually kind of start rewiring our own system with kind of our really essential, grounded, connected place. And this series around Ngahere is all around interconnection. So in some ways it's recovering our sort of true interbeing nature, that we are connected, we have a whole lot of support, but we need to access that place. So, and we also talked quite a lot about that if you do it for you, you're not separate from the system. You know, it's always in some ways a kind of a false orthodox view that we're separate floaty things. We are nature, like we are deeply connected, so we can access that. And if you do it for you, you do it for your whānau and your organisation and the systems that you're in. So this work of getting reconnected is very profound, and it's really starts in your own body system of coming back to the place in you that connects, the place in you that feels joy and ease, and then we thread that more through a system. And our 6 by 1 was, you know, I've worked on this for many years, but really trying to find something simple that people can incorporate into their daily life. Because the busy, in some, you know, in some ways is a trauma highway. We talked about that, and it gives us off ramps so that we actually bring the connectivity, we bring Papatūānuku, we bring things back in to the mahi. So 6 times a day for 1 minute, you do something that brings you joy and ease. And this session, Tuihana will say a bit more in a moment, these sessions focus on our connection with Papatūānuku, with Te Taia. So this kind of false notion that we can go away and get ourselves well, like you can't go away. We're in a collective soup on a collective planet. So how do we do that within that? So Yeah, Tuihana's going to just say a little bit more about why we ended up with Ngahere, and then I'd love just to find out if people gave it a go or people's responses if you're new, but let's just hear from you for a little bit. Tuihana.
Kia ora koutou. Thank you, Louise. I have to give a bit of whakapapa to this, how we landed on Ngahere. So I was fortunate enough to go to Whirinaki, and Whirinaki sits on the edge of one of the most ancient forests, indigenous forests in the world. And I happened to be with a beautiful man by the name of Chaz Doherty, who's actually a whanaunga to Louise, a cousin to Louise. And he's lives within the Uruwera, and he's very much a very strong tūhoi tāne. And we got in the car and he said, you know, Tuihana, that word Ngahere. And I was thinking, okay, I need to be present. I need to listen to this whakapapa. He said, this word Ngahere, we often refer to it as, you know, the forest. He said, yet the word Ngahere is about the interconnectedness of everything. And I said, everything? And he said, everything, Tuihana. You know, from the moss and the Ngahere to the Rākau, to, you know, the sky above, to the air we breathe, and to us, and to our tinana. And I was just so kind of really in awe of this beautiful man. And he said, and also our atua, you know, those that look after Papatūānuku, Tāwhiri Mātia, the wind, Ranginui, the Sky Father, and all the various atua. And I think that sometimes, as Louise explained, we get caught up in this busy. And I think that when I think of the kupu Ngahere, it's this beautiful analogy too of a place and a space where we all come together, kotahitanga as one. And so that's kind of this meaning of Ngahere, and just a reminder to each of us that that Papatūānuku and Ranginui and all the atua that surround us, they actually provide us with this space and this place to breathe, to grow, to nurture, and to thrive. And I think that we can get a little caught up sometimes in this busyness. And there's this beautiful whakatauki, ko au te whenua, ko te whenua ko au. So I am the land and the land is me. And that's where we landed with Ngahere, because I think with all this busyness that we often incur in our lives, we want to gift you the kupu of Ngahere and the kupu of our teachings, of our learnings, to share with you, so that when you are in this busyness, there's a place and a space where you can be tau, and you can be reminded of, you know, kia tau te rangamārie, peace, love and harmony, and ko au te whenua, ko te whenua ko au. Kia ora. Back to you, Louise.
Thanks, Tuihana. So I'd love to see in the chat, you know, how many people gave it a go, any experience you had, yeah, anything. And if you're new, if you didn't come last time, just any response you have for 6 times a day for 1 minute, you're going to pause. And the pause is a very powerful thing in today's world, and reconnect yourself into your deeper self. And what we've been doing is sending out audios to help you do that. And each time we'll send audios. So we're really supporting this, bringing back Māori order into this beautiful community sector that needs so much nourishment. You can say something, unmute and say something if you'd like as well, if you feel like doing that. But otherwise, I'd love to see, did anyone give it a go? And I know how hard it is. Like, I know this is hard. It sounds easy, eh, Carl? No. But just, yeah, love to see any responses. Cindy.
Morena, sorry I was late. I had trouble connecting to the Zoom, launching it. I'm from IHC in the Far North, whānau liaison, and I'm new here, so I haven't done the first part of the program. However, like what you're talking about, taking those small pauses, I have a feeling that it will be very grounding and really useful. I'm finding it really easy to become quite overwhelmed by the busyness of everything. Yeah, so I think I can see it being really useful.
Kia ora, Cindy.
Kia ora.
And it so is, like it really is helpful. We live a more contracted version of ourselves, and we want to bring our relaxed, interconnected, supported self. So it's all beautiful. But okay, we've got someone who wasn't here either, but loves that. We went into much more detail around the nervous system and the reasoning behind this in the first session. So I think Chloe and then we'll send out that audio if you want to have a look. I'd really encourage you to have a look at that. But anyone who did give it a go, anyone who failed miserably, remember I said failing's fine. Okay, you've given it a go as needed, Dave. Cool, thank you. Yeah, great, Vicky, wasn't it, the last session?
And actually, Louise, we had some feedback from people at the first session who, because we'll share some resources, so that gives you've got something to take. And we had some feedback of people sharing it in a team setting. So if you're working with a team, offering that as an opportunity to come together with your team for those hard moments, or finding your own ones around that. So that was great to hear.
Yeah, fantastic if you can do it with your teams. We've got to start really wiring this into our teams, our own systems, our sector. Michelle said she's been managing to do it 1 hour a day. Well, let's go into these ha moments. So what we're going to do is keep jumping online every, 4 to 6 weeks to give you some new ha moments and then send you the recordings, but you'll all get the recordings from the last one. All you have to do is put them in your ears. Listen. Oh, that's beautiful. And what it might look like. Okay, so we did a lot of examples last time, but a ha moment 6 times 1, so 6 times a day. Like one of your ha moments might be just stopping and connecting to your breath. We're giving you some today that are about connecting to nature and te taia. Now you can connect to nature by going out into it, which is optimal. But if you don't have time in that 1 minute just to walk outside, then you can also imagine it. And that's a really powerful thing. So you bring a tree or your river or something close. As we get further down, we're going to do some things like how you can move your body, dance in that minute. There's so many different things, but the criteria is something that brings you joy and ease. You could do some meditation. Rick, yeah. But the focus of this series is really around connection. So it's more around becoming natureful than only mindful. So it does have a flavour. We are doing this, within a te ao Māori context as well, that actually we are always got so much that can fill us up. So let's go into them. And Tuihana, do you want to start with yours?
Kia ora. I hope there's not too much background noise. Is the background noise okay? Ka pai. Kia ora whānau. We've been speaking a lot around Te Tai Ao, and this is our focus for today. And there's a beautiful whakatauki, e hara taku toa, e te toa takitahi, engari, te toa takitini. And often it's a reminder that while we have our own gifts and strengths, that collectively there are many gifts and strengths that we have. And it's a reminder of the strengths and the gifts that Papatūānuku and Ranginui and all the atua and the Tai Ao provides for us and gives us an opportunity. And today we're focusing on, because not only do we bring the gifts that we develop ourselves, but we also bring the gifts of our tūpuna and those that came before us. So it's a reminder of the things that we've been given by our ancestors. Sorry, I'm a little bit distracted because the mowing man has decided to arrive on my front door and is frantically mowing the lawn around me as I'm talking to you all. So when we think about Te Tai Ao, there's lots of places and spaces that we can feel connected to. I'm just going to share an example of when I want to take a ha moment and amongst the busyness. I often will reflect on the urupa back home at our marae tahu whakatiki or romai, which is just off Welcome Bay Road. And I love to visit the urupa, and more often than not, I will take my shoes off and plant my bare feet onto Papatūānuku at the urupa. And it sits under our maunga of mangatawa and kupu kairua. And in the distance, you can also see mauao. And you can hear the water lapping the shore, and you can just feel the wairua of the place. And I can see all my tūpuna because there's 6 generations of our whānau within that one place. And so often in times when I feel a little bit busy or a little bit disconnected, I return home, because within that space, in that place, I'm really surrounded by the Tai Ao, because I've got the moana there, I've got the mountains, or well, the maunga surrounding me, the mountains surrounding me. I can see the moana, and I can actually just off into the distance, and as I'm talking to you, I can see it. I can see Waitau, the awa. And so in amongst these spaces and places of busyness, if I was to take a ha moment for a minute, that's a space and a place that I would return to, because it reminds me of my tūpuna. I'm surrounded by my atua, and it just really grounds me and gives me that space. Today, part of if I'm not able to actually go there physically, then I can actually imagine it. So I can see it and smell it. I can taste it, and it tastes like fresh flounder from the moana. My koro used to cook it, put it in a bit of flour, and then butter, lots of butter in the frying pan, and I can feel it, and I can sense it. So that's the place and the space. But today we want to focus on Rākau, and I learned this through a beautiful healer, and he said, you know, Tuihana, go and grab a piece of wood. So I'm going to encourage you, if not now, but at some stage, is to go and grab a piece of wood, to take a piece of wood from the Ngahere. It could be from your local park, wherever it may be. You need to ask for permission to take that Rākau, and, you know, to be respectful to Papatūānuku, and bring that to you. But you need to feel that. You need to feel that piece of Rākau. You need to feel that piece of wood. It doesn't need to be like a big log. I'm just talking about something small. It can be a twig. It can be whatever that is for you. But ask Papatūānuku, can I please take this as a taonga? she will let you know whether you can or cannot. It's often if you're going to pick rongoa from the Ngahere, you actually ask each time you take a leaf or each time you take something from Ngahere, you ask for permission. If the leaf comes away easily, you know that you can take that. If it doesn't, then you know you need to leave it. So it's the same thing when you ask for Rākau, is to take that piece of wood, put it under your desk. You can put it under your desk, you can take it into your home and plant your feet on it. Because by planting your feet on it, you're actually making a connection to Taiao. And it actually is something that can help us to ground. So take that piece of wood, you know, ask for it, it becomes a taonga, it becomes a gift, it becomes a treasure. And you can hold it, you can plant your feet on it. And just when you want to take a special, you know, ha moment for a minute, and you might just say a little bit of gratitude, to take it and to just hold it close to you. It becomes an intrinsic part of you because we are an extension of Taiao. We are only but an extension of Papatūānuku and the place that we live. So that's my little gift, my little ha moment to you. And I would encourage you that when you know, ideally you take that piece of Rākau from a place or space that brings some a sense of peace and a sense of calmness to you. Are there any pātai, any questions or inquiry? Ka pai. Ka pai. And I love that idea of taking your shoes off and walking on Papatūānuku in the grass and also in the Ngahere, because there is something about when you walk into the Ngahere that makes you feel toe. And so by asking for a piece of Rākau, placing it within a space and place, planting it at your feet or holding it close to you, it will give you that same energy that we receive when we're in the Ngahere. Ka pai? Ka pai. Over to you, Louise. Kia ora.
Thanks, Tuihana. And yeah, as you can hear, our theme for these two ha moments is around Rākau. So mine is also that. And we'll do it together. I'll say a little bit about it and then we'll do it. And actually, I'd love to show you this because it's such a beautiful image. Can I share my screen, Chloe? Oh yeah, good. Look at this beautiful image. And I've spent a lot of my life communing with trees and learning to hear them and co-regulate, which is kind of my nervous system coming into contact with their nervous system, my being with their being. And I've learned a lot from them around interconnectivity. So as this says, trees are amazing portals into the natural world. And our human bodies are like tree bodies. They're not so different. You know, in some ways we both transmute light into breath. We both have such similar qualities that modern research is now finding out, and we can work together with them to re-nourish the whole system. And our system, your system, needs nourishment. It needs filling, not just emptying. So I wanted to show you that beautiful image, and this is what ours is gonna, my ha moment is focused on. So I want you to imagine right now a plant or a tree that you love, you have some connection with. It might be from your early childhood that you played in. Might be just in your garden. It might be a specific tree, or it might be generally, like I love Papatūānuku I want you just to imagine a tree, one of those trees, your past, your present, general, and just bring it close to you. Imagine that it's behind you. And just feel that you can kind of sit down with your spine against its trunk. And even just imagine that now. See if you can just sit back a little bit, like relax your body into it. You're relaxing into the chair, but imagine you're relaxing into the tree, this special tree. Two spines connecting. And then imagine that that tree, it has such deep roots into the earth. You can breathe out the tension in your body into that tree. Your body, the tree, body takes it down into Papatūānuku where it becomes soil. That's part of her service. And that you breathe in the nourishment of this tree body, which draws it up from the earth. So as you breathe out, it's like your breath, the tension goes into the tree body, down into the earth, becomes soil, and then you breathe in the vitality and the oxygen of that tree into your body directly, like we're always breathing from the trees anyway, we breathe them in. But we're just being conscious, you're breathing in that vitality through all the cells of your body, letting them expand. Just take some of those breaths. I get to release. I get to breathe in. Breathe in that light, that oxygen. I'm looking at one of my trees that they freely give. The trees, like the sun in the air, they don't go, you don't deserve it today. I'm not going to do it. They just, that's their may. It's a free gift. So I want you to imagine that you just fill up right now. Nourishment, oxygen, the light from this tree. Just see if you can feel your connection, and the mind might get involved. Let's just come back to the breathing in, breathing out tension, breathing in goodness. Breathing in the essence of this tree that you've brought behind you. See if you can feel in your love and care of this tree, your connection. And then take a few breaths to breathe your essence with the tree, your goodness. Don't let the mind tell you anything else. Your goodness with the goodness of the tree. It's like the heart of you connecting with the heart of that tree. There's so much nourishment in there. Aroha atu, aroha mai. Connect my goodness. Breathe my goodness out. Breathe that goodness in. yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. And my aha moment, and you'll get the recording, in some ways is really about filling, teaching your system how to fill and receive. Because if we keep giving without filling, we can get very depleted, and then our giving can get quite exhausted. So then we can also be giving exhaustion. So this is about, I've got a whole planet of support. I can fill, I can receive so that I can give. And then we give from such a different place. So that's my aha moment. You'll get something on the audio, but I'd so encourage this. We really have to weave connectivity back, and we can all do that in this time. And there's no downside. And yeah, that's me. Any questions or comments? Anything in the chat, any experience you had? Yeah. Hey, Cindy.
Is it okay to share what tree it was?
Yeah. What was your tree?
It was surprising because I would have thought it was a native tree or something like that for myself, but it ended up being the pine tree, a Christmas tree from when we were little. Mum and Dad got a baby pine, and we used it every year until I think I was maybe in my 20s. And it's, but that was our Christmas tree. But they'd bring it inside and take it back out, bring it inside. And so by the time we moved out of that house and it had been planted, it was about 2 or 3 stories high.
Wow.
And yeah, and so that just brought back so many memories just from pine tree in the back of our yard.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. Yeah, as New Zealanders, we can get a bit precious about our trees. But one of my relationships it's like a fairy tree, is with it's like a weeping cherry. Oh my God, it has the most incredible energy, and just sitting with it clears me. And so there's so much rongoa around for you. And it's the most radical act we can do in this time, is that we reroute ourselves and we refuse to buy into this disconnection. And there's so much filling. But get practicing. And I know it's hard. I know, because this radical act is trying to break up this orthodox way we've all started to work. So it is a radical systems change act, but there's nothing, it's all good. So love to see some of you next time, and I'm going to hand back to Chloe. And love to hear any other in the chat, any more introduced to your trees, and all Rākau welcome here today.
Oh, kia ora. Thank you, Louise and Tuihana. It's amazing just what that can do, even collectively in the Zoom together, and feel the energy change with that. Hey, I wanted to let you know that you'll all receive an email, and you'll have an audio of both of those ha moments, and you'll also have some information around the 6x1 challenge. It would be great if people can come along to each of those, but you can also access them from the website. But this is to just really offer out and gift out to you an opportunity to, I guess, have a break from that busyness, look after yourselves in these times, and give yourself a moment and a breath, and some tools around doing that. But these are mini sessions, so we are going to close up this session shortly. I'd like to, we're going to pop in the chat a survey. So please, if you get a moment, do that. But we'll also include a link in the email that comes out to you. And then I'm also going to ask if Tuihana can, if there's no more questions around this, and I'll ask Tuihana to close our session. So these are mini sessions, they're 45-minute long. They're about offering out a bit of the 2 new ha moments, and you also get the recordings and some of those resources. Share them out with others, with your teams. Yeah, so hopefully that's been a great start to the morning today. And yeah, Tuihana or Louise, if you've got anything to finish or say with, and then we can close up. And Vicky, you could send us your email if you like, if you don't think we have it. Yeah.
Louise, is there anything you want to share before I decide to sing?
Just my full encouragement. And even though it might feel a bit awkward and a bit weird, just, you know, this taking care. So, you know, it is a radical act that we have to rewire this rootedness back into our the fabric of our cultures and planet. So thanks for coming, everyone.
Thank you, Louise. I like Aotearoa too, but I think and I've sung this before, but I think it's just a really good reminder for all of us. E ka kanoa hau, I rui a mai, I rangi Aotearoa. 'Cause I can never be lost, I am the seed, born of greatness, descended from a line of chiefs. E ka kanoa. Just a reminder, whānau, that we are all kākano, and from every rākau that grows, we begin as kākano. It's to remind us that we have great gifts and talents, and we have this beautiful environment around us that was gifted to us by our ancestors, no matter what our background is, no matter what our whakapapa is, but we are all seeds born of greatness. We wish you all a beautiful day, and I'll now close us with karakia. So karakia, whakamutunga, kia ora. Kia tau, kia tātou katoa. Te ata whai o tō tātou ariki ahu karaiti. Me te atua, me te aroha, me te whiwhinatahitanga ki te wairua tapu. Ake, 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 amene. Go well, have a beautiful day. Thank you for joining us this morning. Ka kite.
Ka kite.
Kia ora.